Greetings, my good fellas. Today is your lucky day. We are at episode 9 of a 10 episode season, which is the Carroburg Greatswords season. And it's your lucky day because today you will see the build in detail. I'll go into the build in detail, so you will see how I made those great swords be so great swords. So, let's go first to our glorious leader, who is a great sword. Obviously, it's a up-jumped, champion, basically, who becomes a leader by use of this perk, Born Leader. So, anytime you decide to do that and promote a hero to a leader, you should always go the full way and use all 4 skill points you need to, as opposed to 6 for other skills if you want to make a mastery. The Born Leader one becomes a mastery with just 4 skill points. You should always go all the way because it gives you a ton of stats to add to your character, and also it gives you 4 skill points back. So it basically pays off for itself. So, unfortunately, there is a drawback to this, and that is that it takes one of the 4 precious passive skill spots over here, which are all very important. But what are you gonna do? At least you get this, and you get all the stats you get, and you get the skill points back. So that's something. So I think if you wanna play the Greatswords, one thing you have to do, there's no way around it, is a mastery of armor. You need to go all the way. It gives you 5% extra absorption, and also it completely negates the 2 meter movement penalty that heavy armor normally gives to a character. Now, the other thing you have to do is knowledge Mordheim. That increases your movement range further by 1 more meter. That means that you are now past the normal movement range of a normal character without any perks, and you move even further. Why is this important? Apart from the obvious fact that you move further, so you can move faster around the map. You can reach your opponents when you need to. Movement is very important in Mordheim. So it is important for also another reason, which is that in this game, charging kind of negates ambush stance, and ambush stance negates charging. So if an opponent wants to charge you or attack you with an ambush stance, and your opposite skill, let's say charge when they ambush and ambush when they want to charge, if your range is greater, then you will hit first and they will not. And you will get some bonuses like surprising them if it's an ambush stance, or for example, if it's a charge, and the other character is in ambush stance, he will not get to use those. He will basically waste those red pills that he used for getting into ambush stance. So it's very important to have a bigger range in charging an ambush than your opponents, and this kind of ensures it. Unless they have some kind of weapon or some kind of other buff, they will have a shorter range. If you get an armor proficiency, a mastery basically, and then also 1 more meter by just knowledge Mordheim. You cannot get a mastery with this because champion heroes are just too dumb for that. You need to go to 15 intelligence, and even with the extra points, they cannot do it. Normally they go up to 10. And this guy is a captain now, that's why he's up to 13. But anyway, you need this. So the other skill you have here, this is the default. You have 1 more skill in the passive skills list. In this guy I chose Fatality, which increases the critical hit chance by 10% for 1 turn when it's a mastery. But I could easily have gone for... I cannot see it here. I need to go to somebody who has space to see it. I could easily have gone for... where is it? It's here. For Assault, because this increases the critical hit chance of your charge attacks. So it's one of the two. It's a critical hit build, so you need something that increases critical hit chance. Fatality is good because it does it in the subsequent strikes. So if you make a charge and then you keep attacking, then fatality kicks in after the first strike you land. Charge, on the other hand, gives a critical hit chance for the charge in the beginning, and obviously not for the subsequent strikes. So, you know, you can choose either one of them. I just want to point out that you're not always going to be able to charge because of space restrictions. That's one thing. But on the other hand, the charge can create a lot of damage, and if that gets a critical hit bonus, that can be like insane. It can be over 150 damage with one strike sometimes. So that one is also good. And also in that one, with the mastery, you get 20% critical hit chance extra. Yeah, it's very important. I want to say at this point that I'll go into the gear later, of course, but if you can, and you have the rune of Havoc, it is of Havoc, and you have a purple greatsword, which is also without a rune, and you can add it, you should always go for Rune of Havoc. It greatly increases critical hit chance. Let's see by how much. Say of Havoc, 8% extra. It might not seem like much, but it's actually a lot. It's a lot. Like this guy, as it is now, without a Rune of Havoc, because I have the Rune of Havoc, by the way. I just haven't found in this game greatswords that are without a rune. I just found one or something, and I gave it to the Youngblood, I think. So he's got 31% critical hit chance, just like this. And that's without the 10% extra with fatality. You know, that's getting... So after the first strike, he goes to 41. Plus 8%, that would go to 49. That is almost 50%. It means that one out of two strikes will be a critical hit if you have the rune. So, I mean, you can imagine that's probably it's not the most reliable way, but it's probably the best way to increase the damage you deal. And that's, I mean, the great thing about the greatswords. Like I said, in this run, I still don't have purple swords that are without a rune, even though I have the Rune of Havoc. Almost all of the guys don't have a great sword of Havoc, but yeah, eventually they should be having that. Yeah, but I will get into the gear I use just in a while. I just want to finish with the skills first. Now, if you make this kind of build, like the standard critical hit build, you cannot waste any passive skill slots, because you need to use the extra ones for fatality and also the other one for charging. I'll show you how it is in a normal hero. Which means that you need to go for defensive stance, which is really a bad option, but it's the best option out of the bad ones. Because you cannot parry with the greatsword, and dodging is really, really hurt by the heavy armor. Even though, of course, with the masterwork heavy armor, it's a lot better. So the dodge chance is only minus 10%. It's a lot more with other levels of heavy armor. But still, minus 10% is really not helping. And like I said, you need to use a lot of skills if you want to go the dodge route. You need to get an active skill for multiple dodging. You need to get passive skills for like avoid for extra dodge chance. All that takes space, and you don't have any because you are going for the big charge range critical hit thing. So you need to go defensive stance, which is just one slot in the active skills. You need to go mastery, and that basically increases melee resistance by 20%, which is not great because melee resistance is 22%, plus 20 when you are in that stance. it just becomes like 40, 42. It's still not great, and you don't have an extra parry chance or dodge chance to go on top of the melee resistance. So yeah, overall it's not great, but you know, it's the greatswords are basically aggressive builds. Mighty Charge is a must for greatswords, because, and also in mastery for heroes, because it gives plus 100% damage. And yeah, of course, it also bypasses 20% of the target's parry chance. It also influences the counterattack, so it's done with a minus 10% chance to hit, which is not bad. So Mighty Charge is a must. It really makes it harder to hit, which it gives a minus 30% chance to hit, which is a pretty big hit. But I've done critical hits with Mighty Charge on opponents, and it does so much damage. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It can go easily over 150 damage with one strike, with Mighty Charge being a critical hit, turning into a critical hit. Which, you know, with a greatsword build, you have a very high critical hit chance, like 31% without any bonuses from fatality and everything, and not even a rune yet. Even with 31%, that's basically 1 in 3 strikes will be a critical hit. So it's pretty good chance. Now, Strong Blow is also good, because I would say it's a must, because once you make a charge, you use 3 pills. So your character has 9. First strike normally uses 2 pills, second uses 3, and the fourth uses 4. So you use all 9 with 3 strikes. But if you make a charge and you use 3 pills, you can no longer make 3 attacks in one round. So you might as well do a Strong Blow, which gives 50% more damage for 1 extra pill, and that kind of makes up for it to an extent, damage-wise, in the damage that you deal. It also is nice that, you know, it gives a penalty to parry for your opponent. That's also good. And then you have Intimidate. So Intimidate is... you can use something else here. It doesn't matter. You can use Insult. You can use Insult. Insult drops the melee resistance of your opponent, so it's easier for you to strike your opponent. Intimidate is also an interesting skill, because basically what you can do is sorry, I had to yawn. So you basically make them flee. It only works if they can flee. But you know, if you attack your opponent, especially if you have somebody else who just attacked your opponent, and you do the skill and it works, and even though it has like a bonus for the leadership test of your opponent, like a 25% bonus, it still actually might work. So if it works, and it does work quite often, your opponent will run away, and that basically means that you get a free attack with every character that is engaged with your opponent. So it's a pretty good skill, I would say. It's very useful. Of course, you need to set it up right. You know, you need to have space behind your opponent so he can run away. So this is the leader. Let's go now to just... Oh, this guy's level 5, so let's go to a level 10 guy. Stefan Eckstein. So, Stefan Eckstein here. He's got a different set of skills, because he's not a leader, so you can't have as many masteries, but this is how I went with this. So he gets an armor proficiency into a mastery. You need to get that to negate the movement penalty, and also for the extra 5% absorption, which is nice. And then the other thing you need to take into mastery is defensive stance, which you know, it's your stance basically. It's your Hail Mary stance for surviving this round with this build. And then Mighty Charge, just because it just increases the damage by a lot. It makes your charge a lot more worth it. So those 3 you will bring to mastery, which is very expensive skill-wise in skill points. The rest will be just you know, just skills that you get without a mastery. So you have the knowledge Mordheim, like I said, for the 1 extra meter, and then you have both fatality, but not in mastery. You have it as just having the skill, like normally, like proficiency, I guess. And then you have assault as well. So you get the 10% bonus when you charge in critical hits, and then also the 5% bonus when you keep attacking. I mean, instead of strong blow, some people may want to get vital strike, because vital strike further increases your critical hit chance. It's an attack that has a bigger critical hit chance, gives like 10% extra, which is pretty significant. But the reason why I go for strong blow is because strong blow reliably deals more damage and also has the, you know, the bonus against parry stances. And on top of that, it means that if you do actually score a critical hit, you do more damage, because the critical hit damage seems to be calculated on top of the critical, on top of the base damage with the bonuses, and then you get the critical hit damage as a multiplier of that. So you can do more damage with a critical hit with strong blow. I think that's how it goes. That's what I have observed, because with mighty charge, which gives a huge bonus, I just deal insane amounts of critical hit damage. So I'm pretty sure that that's how it goes. So with this guy, I gave him insult. I cannot give him the other skill, the intimidate one, because he's got 7 blue pills, and I need 4 of them for the defensive stance. So he can actually just do an insult, which is 3, and that makes use of all the 7. The other one is 4 intimidate, so you cannot use that. And then the last skill I gave him, I mean, you can go either way about those two. But the last skill I gave him is feint. Feint is a very, very useful skill when you don't want to get counter-attacked. Like when you are low on health and you want to ensure that you don't want to get a counter-attack back, or any other scenario. Let's say that you will get a counter-attack, especially if it's somebody with a chunky weapon that will do a lot of damage. I mean, if it's somebody with a dagger, I might as well eat the counter-attack. But if it's somebody with a halberd or with an axe, for example, I'd rather feint and escape the counter-attack than just do a strong blow and then get hit back. So feint basically just cripples the chance to hit of the next action of your opponent, which includes the counter-attack. If your opponent doesn't counter-attack, by the way, it still counts for the next attack in the next round or whatever. So that's the build for the Greatswords. Now I have an alternative build for Greatswords, which is, I think, this one. Yeah, this is the one. So this is the dodge build. You can see that I did manage with the heavy armor to bring the dodge, and also with the champion, who is pretty lame in dodging in general, because his agility can go up to 10, but you can see it goes up to 12 here because of a rune that I put in the armor. So I give him the armor, the heavy armor of assassins. Gives +2 weapon skill and +2 agility, but I will go into the equipment in a while. But anyway, I did manage to take the dodge to 60%, which is pretty significant for a greatsword. Needless to say, this guy is a lot more survivable than the regular greatsword build with the critical hit buffs. So with this guy, what I did is I gave him, of course, armor proficiency and knowledge Mordheim. That goes without saying. But then I had to use up the other 2 slots instead of increasing the critical hit chance for avoid, which increases the dodge chance by 10%. So it's a must if you want to go the dodge route. And then here I got Strider, which increases the hit chance of charged attacks, not the critical hit. I could have gone the critical hit, to be honest. So that's just basically a choice. This is just good because it kind of offsets the mighty charge minus 30% chance to hit to an extent. It's plus 20%, so minus 30% plus 20%, it becomes a lot better. So yeah, you can do that, or you can just I mean, you could get the critical hit chance, but then your charge attacks might miss sometimes. Strong blow is also a thing I have here. And by the way, you don't need to go mastery with strong blow, it just increases the parry chance penalty, which is already, I mean, if you have a maxed strength character, which is not him by the way, but if you have one, then you know, the parry of your opponent will be very ineffective anyway. And then mighty charge, like I said, 100% extra damage. I mean, you cannot beat that. And then you need to get sidestep, which allows for extra dodge attempts. It's not a mastery, so it's just you have 2 dodge attempts per round, but that increases your survivability by a lot. And then I got Prowl, which is another thing that you need to get if you have you know, a dodge oriented character. It's basically an ambush that costs more, but it gives you also a parry, not a parry, a dodge, just one dodge basically per turn. By the way, even if you get charged, for example, if somebody has a bigger range and charges you or whatever else happens, and you don't ambush attack, when they get near, you still have the dodge. So that is pretty great. What is not so great is that a normal ambush attack costs 2 red pills, and in this case it costs 3, so that means that you can actually counterattack twice. And with a normal ambush attack you can basically attack 3 times. So it's the ambush and another 2 attacks. Here it's the ambush and another 1 attack. So I've come to kind of reconsider the whole prowl thing for that reason. I mean, it's great how you can dodge after you after you ambush. You do deal 50% more damage, but you know, it's even more damaging if you do 3 attacks. And it's also with a minus 10% chance to hit for the ambush attack. If you get a mastery, then it becomes positive, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's an option you can choose, you can decide for yourself. But I've come to kind of reconsider it, especially when I want to preserve skill points for something else. And then you have Insult here, which increases melee resistance, reduces melee resistance of your opponent. You basically tell him something insulting and gets under his skin, I guess. So yeah, this is the dodge build, and I'll show you the super specialized dodge build for a Youngblood, who is a good character for going the dodge way. You can see here I got 85% dodge chance, which is pretty significant. With heavy armor, that is. The problem with Youngblood is that for whatever reason he seems to get critically hit a lot of times. He's got 5% resistance, you can see. To compare it with this guy, for example, he's got 13% resistance. So this guy has more than double the critical resistance of a Youngblood. So that is a bit of a problem. You might you can just basically, one thing you can do. And by the way, with this build you cannot actually I mean, you will give all the points to strength and agility, so you will not get any more toughness to increase your critical resistance. So that's a problem as well. But he's very good at dodging, with 85% dodge chance. And he also has a high agility to climb and jump and do all those acrobatics. So what I did with this character, Avoid is of course a skill you need if you go the dodge route. And I could theoretically have done a mastery because I have 15 agility with this guy. He can go out that high, but I didn't. So knowledge, Mordheim and heavy armor, these are a must if you're playing a greatsword build and you want it to look like a greatsword without just clothes or something. Then you go assault, critical hit chance of charge attacks. And here with this guy I just chose to go deep wounds to increase the critical hit damage. I just thought, you know, he's weaker than the other heroes, the champions. So I thought I might as well just increase his critical hit damage a bit. I could have given him just a fatality so that each subsequent strike from after the first you know, has a critical hit chance which is increased. So yeah, that was just a choice. You could have given him that one, the fatality one. And over here, Squire's Curse is the thing he has from the beginning. So you can see an interesting thing with the Youngblood is he actually has 5 available spots on the passive skills list, because his default skill is an active one, so he has 5 slots to get passive skills. So that is pretty cool, I think, because the passive skills are the most important ones in this game. But then there is a lot of functionality in the active ones. So he gets sidestep. I could have gone mastery in sidestep, but I decided to go mastery in prowl, because it makes the prowl attacks and dodges a lot better, and it also negates the 1 blue pill you need to do the prowl. So it does require 15 agility to do this or this. So since it's something that I can reach with the Youngblood, then I went for it. By the way, I want to state that you normally cannot max out strength and agility in a Youngblood, like just normally, if you level up to level 10. You are 3 physical points short to max out agility and strength. I think it's 3. What you need to do is you need to get a tome from the mission with the demons, you know, the teleporting gates mission, the really annoying one, where you're just trying to figure out how not to get lost all the time. So you find a tome there, a physical tome, and you have to read it with the Youngblood, and he gets the extra points to reach 15 agility and 12 strength, and then you can max out the skills you need to max out. Obviously you can only have 1 Youngblood, because you're never getting that book again. But yeah, with one warband you can have 1 Youngblood that does that. So there is also here we have prowl, sidestep, and then vital strike. Here you can see I did a mastery of vital strike. This is his strong blow. I just decided to do it like that, but it's pretty cool because he has a 25% critical hit chance as it is, and with vital strike he gets another 20%. So my thinking was I get 20% extra critical hit chance with well, if it was a mastery, which it cannot because he's not strong enough, but anyway, 10% extra charge critical hit chance with assault, and then with vital strike I get the subsequent strike after this can be with a very high chance, like a 45% chance. And I don't even have a greatsword. I mean, this greatsword gives extra critical damage. Like I said, I have the rune, I just haven't found greatswords with an empty rune slot that are purple. So far I found one and I used it on somebody, I don't remember which one. But if he gets that as well, then when he does the vital strike, the chance for a critical hit will go to an insane 53%. That's pretty great, I think. 53, it's over half, it's over 50% that he will land a critical hit. And with the extra damage here, it's also even better. So then I also gave him insult for the same reason. I mean, it's 4 pills for using sidestep, and there is another 3 blue pills that he can use for insult. So these are the critical hit builds with dodge and without dodge for the greatswords. I will say it again, the ones without dodge are more critical hit oriented, and they will land more critical hits, so they will do a little bit more damage. The ones that are dodge oriented are actually much better at surviving. Not much, I mean not crazy much, but they're better at surviving, because you get a chance to dodge, and you also get a chance to physically resist the strike. So the other characters I'm using in this build, I'm not gonna go into the Reiklander here, the guy with the shield and sword. I mean, I'll go into this when I make a Swords of Ulrich gameplay at some point in the future. But he was a bit of an accident, so I just justified it by saying he's just a mercenary from Reikland, because this whole band is a Reikland band, basically. So I'll just go to the Company of Honor Halberdiers. So they have... You basically max out their strength, and then you dump everything else you get into toughness. You don't go agility because they will parry and not dodge. And then here, because I want them to have a bigger charge range, I gave basically their henchmen, so they cannot have a mastery. So you just give them heavy armor and knowledge Mordheim, and this basically negates the 2-meter penalty from the heavy armor, so they basically become like a normal person. But they still don't have an edge in charge range. What I would do if I made another one now is I would not give the knowledge Mordheim skill, and this way you're more flexible. I mean, you can do it or not do it, but a good thing to do is there is a rune of defiance that you can give to a halberd, and it increases charge and ambush range by 4 meters. That's insane. That's you're always going to be, almost always going to be charging or ambushing before you get ambushed or charged. So you can give that to a halberdier, and that's probably the best option to go with. And then you don't need to increase the range so much. It still helps because you can move around better, but it's not a charge or ambush related thing at that time. So you can use something else in the skills. But the one you must use is flash parry, because they don't have a shield, so they can parry, but it's not great. So this gives 10%, which is massive. You can see this guy has 82% with maxed out weapon skill, and actually more weapon skill because of his armor giving more weapon skill. And then Assault increases the critical hit chance of the charge attacks. And then you go also Mighty Charge, cannot become a mastery, but still plus 75% damage is pretty good. Then Web of Steel is increasing the parry attempts that you have with a puny henchman. And then Onslaught, I mean, you can do that or not do it. I think with the henchman it's actually more worth the investment to the Onslaught thing than with the heroes. The reason for that is a henchman will always have 5 red pills and no more. So you can do 2 attacks. So you can do an ambush stance, and he will ambush and then attack. He will ambush one time and then counter attack. But if you do Onslaught, you actually get the chance to do a 3-pill 50% bonus damage attack, and if you manage to land the parry, then you get a cheaper second attack, so you basically make use of the other 2 points. So you might actually manage to use all 5 of your points if you succeed with the parry afterwards, and you will deal significantly more damage than with just 2 attacks, because of the 50% damage bonus with the Onslaught, ambush. So yeah, I think it's more worth it to go the Onslaught way with henchmen. Plus it makes them more survivable, because henchmen die more easily than heroes. So that also helps, because they can parry. So yeah, that's about it. I will also not go into the Company of Honor Captain build, because it's a similar build to the one that I'll do for the Captain of the Swords of Ulrich, which is gonna come, I think, after this series. So yeah, you will see it then. The last build I need to talk about is the Wizard. The Wizard is mostly for flavor and also for some versatility, because this, as you can tell, it's a full melee build. Like my favorite builds are full melee, although I do enjoy high level ranged builds as well. They're they're a lot of fun in their own way, and they do offer some special gameplay options. So they are fun as well, but yeah, melee builds are more reliable. And so you need a wizard. So I just basically recreated a bright wizard. That's what I went for. So it's this guy with a red beard, and so obviously you didn't have the haircut in the customization of yeah, I'm not gonna show you now, but you didn't have the haircut of a bright wizard, so the next best thing is a cowl. So what I gave this guy, I basically gave him full agility points, and then I maxed out intelligence because it actually affects the damage you deal with spells, makes the spells be more damaging, apart from, you know, magic resistance and stun resistance and all that stuff. Then I, as you can see, he has pretty high alertness as well, because he needs to be able to play first, so he's not attacked, so he can go into position and be able to cast the spells. Unfortunately, that means that you don't use any points in leadership. And I think I actually used the tome that I got from that same mission that is about mental attributes. I think I used it on this guy to increase his alertness, because he had maxed out intelligence, and I wanted him to be also faster in the ladder of you know, the ladder, the initiative ladder. So what I did with this specific one, and I mean you can go into melee, but what I did is I maxed out his ballistic skill. It's not insane, but he can use a bow and arrow, and he does have a bow and arrow. He has a bow here of precision with extra hit chance. And then I just I dumped the rest of the points into weapon skill, you know, just in case he gets into melee. And he's got a dagger. That is because his melee is terrible, and the single weapon without anything in the offhand increases the dodge chance. So he's got an insane dodge chance of 110% because of you know, clothing, and also the clothing increases alertness and agility. And then the single weapon in one hand also increases agility further. And of course he's got perks that I'm gonna show you, one of which is, no, he doesn't even have a void. Imagine that. If he had a void, he would have more dodge. So yeah, that's what I did with this guy. I mean, you could just give him a weapon and rely on spells for ranged attacks, but because I went for a concept thing, I didn't want to give him lightning bolt, whatever the spell name is called. I just wanted to give him fireball. Here, fireball. So I thought when I need to attack engaged opponents, so I don't hit my own guys with the fireball, which is an area of effect attack, I will just take out the bow and arrow and attack them with that. And so far it works like a charm, to be honest. It works very well. So before I show you the spells, I'll show you just, you know, so the skills over here. The thing I got first is channeling, because I really hate that Zin's curses. They really can mess you up in a great number of ways, all the way up to knock you out completely and then your wizard dies or something. So whatever you can do to eliminate the Zin's curse chance, you should do it. So that's a mastery of channeling for me, and also my dagger, which is holding, has got a rune of spellbinding, which decreases the Zin's curse chance even further. Then I got a arcane study, which in this case I mean, if I made the character again, I probably would not have gotten this one. I would have saved the skill points, because I just wanted him to have fireball and blinding light in mastery and dispel. Just because I play characters as a concept thing, you know, I didn't want him to get too many spells. But if you want to load the wizard with tons of spells, you should take that one into a mastery. and this way you can have up to 4 spells in mastery. But yeah, I use the extra 2 points for Dread of Armor, which is kind of useless, because you're not gonna get into melee too often with this guy. And even if you do, you probably will bring somebody to help him, and this affects everybody around you. So yeah, I mean, I just got it because it fits the concept more than the other spells that I could choose do. Improved casting is always great to have and to make a mastery of if you can, because it reduces the chance your enemies will resist your spells. I mean, you're casting spells, using up red pills, and then you are also having to deal with the chance of a fizzle. You also have to deal with the chance of a Zin's curse, and you do all that, you cast a spell, and then your opponent resists it. It's really anticlimactic, so you might as well just get this perk. And then expert casting is also great, because it increases the range of your spells by 10 meters. That's quite a lot. So you can basically throw fireballs from very far away. I cannot tell you how many times I barely could throw a fireball with this, and because of this perk I was able to, and I won a mission. You know, if I didn't have it, I would not be able to do that. Fireballs are great because your opponents are sometimes grouped together when they're in the distance, and you can get 2 or even 3 of them at the same time with one fireball. Theoretically you could get any number, but you know, usually it's just 2 or 3. And then Knowledge Mordheim, you don't need to go and pick this up, because I mean, it's a wizard, he's not gonna move around too much, he's gonna get into a position and then start firing spells. But it really helps. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to use this for getting an advantage in charging or ambushing, but still it helps to move faster and go to that position faster than your opponents can catch you. So I mean, it does help, but you can also choose something else here. And then the active ones, concentration, he already has, and you should do it as much as possible if you have the blue pills to spare. Another yawn. That's 2 yawns. The yawn count is 2 at the moment for today. Now, this next thing is a bit of a it's a smart device to use if you want to be able to cast 3 entire fireballs in one turn. That's the only reason I got it. If you have a wizard that casts different spells, you might not need this one, because you have to calculate what you're going to cast in a turn most of the time and see if your 9 red pills are enough. But here I'm kind of pushing things to the limit. So what I'm doing is I can cast 2 fireballs, and that takes out 8 of the red pills, 8 offense points. I'm left with 1. With introspection into mastery, I can turn 3 strategy points into 2 offense points. So I go up to 3 offense points, which are still not enough to cast an extra fireball, like a 3rd one. But if I do quick casting, then I reduce the cost of the next spell by 1 offense point, so I can cast another fireball. The trick is that it increases the casting penalty by 30%, which is insanely high. So you basically have like something like a 50% chance to cast the last fireball. I think something like that. It's pretty brutal, but you get a pretty good chance to cast a 3rd fireball, which can do a lot of damage. And I mean, overall most of the time it's worth it. So that's why I got it. And now, like I said, the spells are Dispel, Fireball, Blinding Light. If you get the Arcane Study and you do a Mastery, you can actually get 1 extra spell like this one, and you can actually master it if you have a Mastery of Arcane Study. So yeah, you can do that if you want. I personally think that it's better to focus on fewer spells. And like I said, if I made this build from the beginning, I would not pick the Arcane Study, because I don't need Dread of Armor. I'm good with the other 3 spells maxed out for this wizard. And with his bow, he's really functional. So, this is the build. The last thing I need to talk about is the equipment. So, great swords, purple ones, you should give them... do I have anybody, by the way, with one now? I think I lost a couple of guys and they got looted, so I might actually have lost the one that I had made. Well, that's of Carnage, gives critical damage bonus. That's of Slaying. Oh, here, Havoc. So Stefan Eckstein has Great Sword of Havoc. That's plus 8% critical hit chance. So he's already having a 37% critical hit chance. If he charges, he gets another 10, goes to 47, so that's 50% almost. And then with Fatality, he gets 5% with every attack. So that's pretty high critical hit chance that he has with every strike. It's close to 50%. It's like one out of 2 strikes. Of course, your opponent, after you land a critical hit, your opponent can resist it with critical hit resistance, but that is almost always very low. Like, it's almost always way below 10%, so I'm not even counting that. It's almost never working. So what I do is I also give them a helmet of True Grit with a rune of True Grit, which increases the stun resistance even further. And they still get stunned, so what does that tell you? And getting stunned in this difficulty level, when you're a level 10 band and you're fighting deadly missions and stuff, getting stunned is a death sentence, almost all the times. So you always need to give that rune, I think, to your guys, to everybody that you can. Then the armor, with the critical hit build, I give them a rune of champions. That is because I want them to get weapon skill up to 20, which is the maximum. You cannot give them the rune that gives 4 extra weapon skill, because they will go over 20 and that will be wasted, because they have a hard limit of 20. But because the normal limit that you should try to reach is 18, you can give them this one, and it goes up to 20, which is great. By the way, weapon skill is probably the most important trait of all of them for melee guys, because it increases chance to hit, melee resistance, parry chance, which is not a thing here, but yeah, I mean, that's also something. But melee resistance and also hit chance is pretty big. So then the other 2 points that it gives is accuracy. So it increases the accuracy, and that means that it increases the critical hit chance and also the critical hit damage, and also bypasses the target's dodge chance. Makes the character more lethal, in other words. And you can see that they also, all of them have a dagger as well. I mean, you can give them a ranged weapon, but it's more true to character and to concept, and also it's got an interesting functionality to give them a dagger, because with the dagger, the initiative, you can see if I go to the sword, initiative is 24. If I get the dagger, if I pull out the dagger, for the next turn my initiative goes all the way up to 49. That's a huge leap. So anybody who is lower than 49 in initiative, I can attack them with the greatsword, with a charge and then another attack, like a strong blow, and that will leave me with 2 red pills. That is enough for me to switch weapons to the dagger, so basically like pull the dagger out after the charge and the attack. And then before that opponent of mine plays, if he has an initiative of 48 or less, I can attack him again with the dagger and try to finish him off in the same turn. So that's a pretty cool trick you can do with the greatswords. Obviously, if you go to a dodge build, like I don't know what the wizard has alertness and agility, because I wanted him to have more alertness to move faster, and also 2 extra agility, so he can have a better dodge, which is really high now. And an amulet, which is also minus 10% Zin scares chance. Like I said, you don't want that curse to happen. But yeah, with the... Let me go, for example, here. No, not here. Who is it? Yeah, I mean, like the dodge builds. Like this guy has a dodge build. So with them, I give them the heavy armor of assassins. So they get 2 extra weapon skill, but they also get 2 extra agility points. That helps a lot with their dodge, which is already terrible. So yeah, all in all, that's it. With your captain, you can just give him another rune that I'll get into, like I said, in another build. So now, let's play one more mission to, you know, get through this episode, which is the one before the last. There is a mark for death mission here, which is hard, so that's pretty good. With good Wyrdstone and average loot, I think I'm gonna go for it. With these 4 characters, the reason being I want to level them up, and the other ones are level 10, so they cannot level up anymore. So let's go for it.
Small groups of enemy warriors have been discovered across the area, scattered in flight. Before they can regroup, you break your warband into 3 patrols to intercept and engage your disorganized rivals.
So as you can see, we're playing against the rats. So all we need to do is dress up as cats and scare them off. But since you don't have that option here, I guess we're gonna have to kill them with swords and stuff. Now, they will definitely play first, because I haven't given any alertness to any of these guys, apart from the wizard, that I don't have with me now. So, we have a starting location with 4 positions, and we have 4 guys, which is the minimum you need to get into a mission, and we have 4 Wyrdstones here, I don't know what level. Oh, and another plenty here. So the Wyrdstones seem to be in this area roughly. So maybe we'll try to... we'll see what is easier. We'll either sweep up this way and go here and engage them somewhere around this area, or sweep down here and engage them around this area. They are here, they're actually pretty close, not far away. So it should happen fast. So yeah, we have to put these guys just right here. And I think this time I'll try to make them all pray to the banner, so that we get a Wyrdstone resistance. Yeah, the breastplate. And it has no backplate, yeah? I mean, the Greatswords armor has a backplate. You know, the armors and the weapons in this game, they give bonuses and, you know, penalties regardless of what they look like on the model. Like, for example, in reality, this guy would be a lot better armored than this guy. But in the game, they get the same bonuses from this armor. This guy has no pauldrons on his shoulders, and has no, you know, forearm protectors. And these guys have more leg protection, I think, as well. Yeah, they do. They have knee protection. Yeah. So, like I've told you before, I'm a historical swordsmanship instructor. That's one of the things I do. One of my talents, you could say. And that means that we use a lot of protective gear in our training, and so we're very familiar with items like this. So yeah, this guy prays, but he really moves like a turtle. Ooh, there is plenty of loot inside this house. So yeah, I'll send him there. One is accessible, the other is upstairs, so I'm not even gonna bother. Oh, it's a healing draft. That's useful. We might actually need to use it in this battle even. And then, yeah, ambush stance. So this guy will read the map. And it didn't work, so that was a waste of a blue pill. And then we'll go here, right at the edge, pray. And then we'll go into the chest, but without wasting a blue pill. Drop the map, so we have more space to collect stuff. And then move. So I chose to go that way because the other way you need to climb. And I'm not very fond of that. So I might as well just go this way and collect those stones. Because there is a stairway there. So it's like more reliable, you can say. I can already see the Wyrdstones. And I probably will be able to see some of the rats now, I guess. No. I don't know where they are. Maybe they start... Maybe the card is there, but they start somewhere else entirely. So that may be a trap over there. I will step on it on purpose, because I'd rather eat it now than charge and then eat it in the middle of my charge. And yeah, it's not a trap, so yeah, that's good. So that's plenty of Wyrdstone, that's good. Ambush stance. Okay, so this guy doesn't have a map or anything. But I'll still have him pray. They also get all alone, a huge all alone bonus for 2 turns. Which is also very useful if you get double teamed. Yeah, so there is an issue that this guy has a very short movement range. So he also has a very short charge range. Or ambush range as well. So if I put him right here in the middle of the street, he may get charged before he ambushes. But there is a chance that if I put him here, because he does cover all the way to the wall, then he will be able to ambush before he gets charged, because his opponent has to turn around and then charge. It also looks more like an ambush, because you do that without being so visible. So this champion will also read the map. It also doesn't work for him. That's not the best of luck. Yeah, I mean, this game is very RNG reliant. So you're gonna have strange things happening all the time. And we have. May I remind you a few of the things that happened. Like us killing everybody but their captain, and they don't rout. And they kill a second guy from us that is doomed, like he's almost dead, and we rout. And also the guy who gets killed needs to be dismissed.
A new round has started.
You can have disaster scenarios like that. So the rats play first, and now this is their second turn, so they and they're also very fast. They move a lot. So they should start showing up any moment now. If I had to guess, I would say probably this turn they should start appearing and attacking us. In any other case, we'll just collect all this Wyrdstone. And then maybe we'll move to some other spot for more Wyrdstone. Like maybe here. Now the problem is you cannot tell if it's clusters or fragments, you know, or shards. But this is the nearest one, I think. So it might be this one. Okay. So, yeah, let's send this guy that way. They still haven't showed up in the map, which is weird. Oh, I'll leave him here. because I might actually body block the Wyrdstone collection area. So Gunther is gonna be the good boy who will collect all that stuff. So you need to find a position that highlights all of them, because you might actually get a debuff that drops your blue pills, and then you cannot nudge to pick up the rest of them. Then you need to pick them in a later turn, and then that means that the Wyrdstone curses persist for more time. I mean, he has the idle boon, 50% Wyrdstone resistance. He did get zapped, but nothing happened. Yeah, sometimes it happens like that. Now he got a warp effect though. Ooh, and it's a pretty bad one. Sin +1 OP to shoot, attack, aim. Yeah, I don't know what is going on, because he has a very high Wyrdstone resistance because of the idol. And that's the first one that didn't zap him. I'll even get the little one. That's how greedy I am right now. Yeah, it's not really greedy, it's just common sense, frankly. So we need to kill somebody, and it's not their leader. That is interesting. So I just want to see what debuffs I got. Oh yeah, but he doesn't have heavy armor proficiency. That's why his ambush range is not so great. I'll put him here and ambush. But is this the house? No, it's the other one. The other house has some loot. So that's okay, we're not obstructing anything by ambushing over here. And if somebody passes through that street, then we will just hit him. Now this guy. Seems like the leader is gonna go and collect this Wyrdstone. I might actually go into this house and look for... Oh, come on. Serious? Okay, their leader just shot us. With poison ammo. And it was also for nothing, because we cannot go upstairs from here. What a waste. Oh, that's fine. I'll leave him here. For the same reason, I just want him to have a maxed out ambush range in case somebody comes. Unless they come from the other side, in which case there might be a bit of a problem. So, Riesdarik Ladensberg. Yeah, I mean, from here I can see the Wyrdstone. Where is the rat? He's somewhere on the other side of that bridge. But I need to keep everybody together. Togetherness is very important in this game. And it seems like the loot is upstairs, it seems. How do you climb? I think from here. Oh, come on. Actually, I don't see a light upstairs. But we checked downstairs. There was nothing there, so I don't know what's going on with that. I'll just give it a try. Oh, come on now. 74% and he fails again for a second time. What? This is just ridiculous. And indeed, it was all for nothing. Great! Great success.
A new round has
But
started.
it's got a great view from up here. Gotta give him that. So the Dum-Dum is coming. The rat boy. So every time I see those rats, I just, for some reason, the name that comes to my mind is, you know, the Harry Potter guy. He's called Daniel Radcliffe. That's for some reason. It just seems like a. I mean, if I made a warband with Skaven, I might be tempted to name somebody after the Harry Potter guy. So yeah. Because they are rats and they also run on cliffs. So yeah, you see where I'm going with that. Oh, the guy we need to kill is all the way up there. And we should better get that objective. So yeah, let's do it. Might be far, but it's worth trying. Okay. So it's his turn now. Yeah, just jump down. At least this was a success. Successful jumping. And yeah, maybe I should jump down a second time. Oh, that guy's right there though. So we need to evade him, because if we get tangled up with him, we might not be able to get the bonus objective. But the problem is, it seems like we're not going to be able to evade him. Okay, so the next best thing is basically surprise him. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump down here, eat my face. I don't know if the surprise attack also works when you eat your face like this. Now it's a bit tricky, because if I move he will definitely attack me. But at least after that I will be able to do the defensive stance thing. So yeah, I think I'll go for it. Yeah, there he goes. Now I have 3 attacks. It's pretty great. Intimidate, eh? Let's do the 3 attacks. Fatality. So I have a pretty high critical hit chance with every subsequent strike now. He's got a dagger, which is pathetic. There you go. Critical hit and stand. No, go to town on him. Defensive stance. So our brave and glorious halberdier, he's around the corner. So I'm gonna send him there. Or should I don't know, maybe I should send him here so he can kill this guy. No, I'll just send the champion there. I'll send the halberdier here to help out. Thrackman killer. Critical hit. And the halberd has a critical hit bonus, by the way, by default as a weapon. Not as big a critical hit bonus as the warhammer, but a pretty big one. And the loot is actually nice. And yeah, is there a chance we might body block them by coming up? I don't think so. They probably can climb. Now, this guy. This guy needs to get out, and I don't know if there is a way to go from here. Yeah, there is a way. I'll send him all the way to the other side and do an ambush stance. And hope that the guy we need to kill plays first. Ah, yeah. Never mind. Now he has... oh, what's the matter with warp effects? +1 OP. This sucks. That means I will only have 2 regular attacks and no defense after that. Adaptable defense. Not adaptable enough, it seems. Nice.
A new round has started.
Okay, so now they will climb up and engage us. Oh, he's going there. The bastard. What? Oh, that was very sneaky. That was really sneaky. But I guess I should expect that from rats. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is not good. This is really not good. I think this is also the guy who's carrying all the Wyrdstone. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, gather Wyrdstone. Just do stupid stuff like that. If he attacks our greatsword, he's probably gonna die. That is, the greatsword is probably gonna die. I hope he lost blue pills from collecting. Ah, shit. Shit! Oh, that really hurt. Oh boy. Uh-oh. Well, into the fray. I'll try to get the objective guy. Oh, what? He spent a fucking blue pill. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous now. He spent the blue pill that I had to use to parry. This is just ridiculous. So I should at least try to engage the other two now. Or at least one of them. Just so that they don't all gang up on that guy then. Parry stance. Now this guy, he doesn't have dodge. I mean, he's got 5% dodge. but I'll try to go for the objective guy. So I need to find a gap where I can charge both of them. Yeah, he can do it here. So what if I do a normal charge? Yeah, I think it will still kill him if I hit him twice. Unless I do a mighty charge and it actually critically hits. And I mean, let's risk it. It is a critical build. So... Ah! Bollocks. Yeah, strong blow. And now we go to dodge stance.
A new round has started.
Ooh. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that was to be expected. Ooh, we've got some kind of weapon that allows you to counter-attack for less or something. Or makes the after you get damage, maybe you get counter-attack with one less speed. Critical hit. Are you kidding me? 81 damage. So we've got the critical hit built, and they do the critical hits. And I'm guessing this guy's gonna go to the lone henchman. Oh no, he went to the other guy. The guy with no parry stance. Actually, that's good for us. So we'll try to finish off the leader. Good. Lovely. And I think I will use the healing draft on the leader here. Yeah, so that's useful. And then parry stance. And now Glorious Leader is gonna loot. Very gloriously. Now there's plenty of stuff to loot here. Sword. 3 shards. Problem is now he's full. Oh, wait a minute. I actually need this guy's trinket. Because he's the objective, right? Let me check. Yeah. He's the objective, I need it. So... I mean, Sword of Dismay. Yeah, I can live without that. I'll just drop a Wyrdstone shard.
Objective completed.
So we got the bonus objective, and now I will charge that rat. And I will do so mightily. Regular attack will do it. There you go. Let's see what he has. Well, nice stuff if you want to sell it. And now what we're gonna do is try to encircle the last remaining rat. Should I try to do intimidate? Let's not risk it, because our leader's health is not very high. So yeah, I don't want to risk that. So this guy will... I mean, there are some clusters and stuff. I'll drop the shield, get the dagger, and also collect Wyrdstone from over here. Yeah, I'll just get the cluster, at least. Even got a buff. And then we can charge this, dimwit Diclo. Yeah. He also cannot escape now.
A new round has started.
Yeah, we won because of morale. So we just lost one of our greatswords, but we got the bonus objective. Let's see what's the damage he got.
Vanquishing the foe upon the field of battle is a great feeling. It is even better when you're getting paid for it.
Let's see if we still have 2 greatswords.
Outstanding.
I mean, look at this XP. Pretty sweet, huh? Full recovery. Okay, that was lucky.
Nice progress.
That was very lucky. Yeah. Nothing insane, but not bad either. Pay treatment, pay their salary. Yeah. So, for the next mission is gonna be the last mission that we're gonna play, and it's a surprise. It's the last mission for this season, let's say, which is the Carroburg Greatswords season. It is pretty much open season for chaos guys, chaos cultists, and all sorts of mutants. I'll give him a little leadership and plenty of accuracy and toughness. He's a tough guy. This guy, I'll give him alertness for now. Accuracy. Yeah, I think we did them. And this guy can train something. We can either save the points, because we need to eventually get this armor proficiency done. Assault. We could also give him fatality if we wanted. And he doesn't have mighty charge. Yeah, I'll just save it because I want to increase his armor proficiency into a mastery so he can move like a normal person, because this is pathetic now. So yeah, he will wait. So yeah, I think that's it for this turn. So join me in the next episode tomorrow for the last battle, which, like I said, is gonna be a surprise. I hope I can make it. Until the next time, be well and take care.